Hello, everyone, and welcome to the beginning of my hardest reading challenge overdue July edition vlog. I have written down all of the prompts that won't just kind of happen easily throughout here. I will pop up the bingo board here. The ones that I have not included in this challenge are the rainbow challenge and some aspects of different challenges like North America. I'm going to read a book set North America probably today. um, and the by the hundreds challenge, that is 7 different prompts where you have to read like one book in the 100s, one book in the 200s, 300, 400, 500, 600, and then 700 plus. I'm also thinking about doing a 24-hour reading challenge literally tonight. We will see. Depends on how tired I am. I'm gonna go walk at the gym and everything. But if I can do the 24-hour reading challenge, that's already one done, which will make me want to finish this. Because if I can go ahead and get a challenge completed, I've also kind of cheated and also put read a 500-page book in one day. So I'm doing a 24-hour reading challenge, and I pick up a 500-page book and I read it today. That's 2 challenges done in one day. So we'll see. That's probably gonna be my plan for whenever I do the 24-hour readathon. But I have everything in here. I'm definitely cheating. There are some rules that I'm not following to a T just because I do want to make this fun for myself and I don't want to be crazy about it. So I'm cheating a little bit and you know what? We're playing house rules. We're playing house rules. So the plan is that I'm gonna go take some books back to the library and go to the local bookstore and go walk at my gym. So that is my plan for the day. And so I've done the math, and to make this work, I need to do um a little like around 10 pulls a month. My plan is that I'm going to pull 3 today so that I give myself a little bit of variety. And then once I complete those or get stuck, if I'm like, yeah, I'm here, but I don't really want to read this right now. Um, and then I'll update you because every challenge you are allowed to do 2. So like when I do the 24-hour reading challenge, I would only be able to count the like 500-page book. I wouldn't be able to count that multiple times against other things. That's why I kind of paired those 2 up. And yeah, let's see what we choose, and I will explain the prompt as we get them. Oh, we'll take this one. Ooh, vampire book. I know what book I'm gonna get. So V.E. Schwab has a new vampire like sapphic romance book out, and I want to read that. I want to read that so bad. I want to read that right now. So we are. Also say hi to Gucci. This is Usungwan's. It's a little fan made plush that I got, and he's got a little. Isn't he cute? Yeah, he's holding my. I've got so many of these little guys, so they will all take turns holding my microphone. Okay, so definitely gonna read that book. Not exactly sure, like entirely what it's about, but I love E. Schwab's writing. I've loved everything that I've ever read by, and yeah, that is definitely on the list of things to read, and I'm gonna pick it up when I'm at the bookstore. Okay, let's see. Ooh, this is easy. So this says BIPOC author, super super easy. I am currently um reading a book, like listening to it on an audiobook called The Daughter of the Moon and Sun God. I'll pop it up here and when I talk about it. It's so far so that's fun. I will definitely listen to that while I'm at the gym, while I'm driving, probably kind of cross stitch, especially if I do this 24-hour reading challenge. So I will um do that at the same time. So we will see. But that is a very, very easy one so far. Really easy ones. I will be able to count that one as well as there's like a prompt about a book set in Asia, and I will, well, maybe because technically it's fantasy, but it's also romance, so I might use it as one of my romance subfic. See, this is the fun thing about the hardest reading challenge ever do, is that like since you can do 2, you can double dip. Okay, last one for today, unless I read multiple today. Ooh, so this is a TBR game. So this is, oh God, what's her name? She was the one who got me to do this. Well, I've seen it before, um, but it's TBR game. So what I'm going to do is basically, technically, I think you're supposed to like follow their TBR game book for book and like prompt for prompt. I don't want to do that. I want to split it up between the months. Just in case there's TBR pulls I just don't like and I don't want to force myself to read stuff I don't want to read. Um, and I'm gonna look up her July reading challenge, and I did 4 of these. So I'm gonna read 4, like I'll read 1 book following the prompt. And I literally watched it this morning, so I will rewatch it and I'll come back and tell you what I'm thinking about reading for that. So far, pretty easy. I've got 2 things that I can do very easily and fit in my plans today. So that's good. So I am 3 hours into the audiobook of Sulantan. Her book is called Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I was putting way too many words in there. I'm really liking it so far. Very much sort of a normal fantasy book so far that I love it. I love a fantasy book. And yeah, it was really fun to walk. While I listened to it, I walked a mile and a half. It's too damn hot. But I love going to the Y, so that's what we did. And now I'm off to go to my local bookstore to buy the new V.E. Schwab book. Probably will stop and get an Ale8. If you know what an Ale8 is, you're a real one. If you don't, I know you're not from Kentucky. So I need to read about 10 books every month to finish this challenge, at least at the beginning. And then, like, while I'm really excited about it, I want to read as much as I possibly can. And then, go from there. But whenever I get really excited about something, I try to, like, capture that energy so that when winter comes and I don't want to do anything, I don't have to do anything. But my first 3 pulls were so one of the challenges is to do like a booktubers TBR challenge. And what I want to do is basically I split this up into 4 different prompts, and whenever I pull it, I will pull up rescue and reads. I will link them down below. Um, their TBR game, super interesting. I love what they've done. And one of their prompts was nature. So I have a book on my Kindle that is Wolf Song by TJ Klune, and one of my friends said it was good, and it's got nature on the cover. It's got like a little cabin, a wolf. Um, so we will read that. I literally have no idea what that is about. I just know that TJ Klune is a great author, and then my friend was like, "Who loves to read?" Um, basically was like, "Yeah, I love that book. I love that whole series. I love TJ Klune." And I was like, "Okay, sounds good. I trust you." And then BIPOC author. This is going to go to the book that I'm listening to on audiobook. Basically, when I get tired of reading, I'm going to pull out my cross stitch and listen to my audiobook. Or like any chores or anything that I need to do within that 24 hours. I'll put my audiobook on, and that will be, I believe it's Sulin Tan. Um, I'll put the cover here. It's a beautiful cover. And it's the Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I'm really liking that one. I've kind of already started it. I'm about 3 hours into the audiobook, and it's delightful. It is about a girl whose mother is the moon goddess, and she thinks that she is living like a normal immortal's life, but then she finds out that her whole existence is not allowed, and her mother has been exiled to the moon after stealing this elixir of life from her father that was gifted to her father by the imperial emperor. So basically, the whole story is her running away from her mother because they are sort of kind of found out that that she is alive and that she's not supposed to be alive, and the only way to keep her safe is for her to run away. So she runs away and ends up basically in the backyard of the empress and the emperor, and goes through these trials to figure out how to use her powers to save her mother. So that's where we are right now in the book. I'm really, really enjoying it. Um, it dragged a little at the beginning, but it was mostly just to build the world and kind of socialize our character, which was needed, which I enjoyed because a lot of times in books where there's someone who, is only ever around their family and then they go into the real world and it's like, oh yeah, they're fine. They're actually completely socialized and know exactly how to live. And that's just not, don't want to say realistic, but it's like meh, you know. So this character goes through, I mean, it's a quick arc so far of, going from a completely loving household to being kind of despised and, character growth. I really enjoyed that. And then the main thing that I will be focusing on in this reading vlog, I will pick up those two between reading this one. I pulled Vampire Book, which is amazing because this is awesome. So for my reading challenge, so I don't, it depends on if I can finish this book. If I finish this book, I'm going to count it for my read a 500-page book in a day. Disregard the vampire book. I'll find another vampire book. There are other vampire books. Reading 500 pages in a day is much harder. I did pick up a signed copy from my local bookstore, and it's not Sarah, V.E. Schwab, Bury Our Bones, um, in the Midnight Soil. It is like a vampire sapphic romance, and I'm very, very excited. I literally have no idea what this book is about. I would like to go into it that way. I enjoy and love V.E. Schwab's writing, um, and Vicious is one of my absolute favorite novels, literally ever. And Darker Shade of Magic has been on my TBR since it came out. I actually went to V. Schwab's book talk that she held at that event, or at that bookstore that I bought this book at. Oh God, back when I was in middle school or high school, so it's been a decade. Whenever A Darker Shade of Magic came out, um, is when that book talk was, and yeah, I met her and she was phenomenal. And I know everyone loves The Invisible Lives of Addie LaRue. I have not read it yet. I own it. I'm literally looking at the at it right there. But I did not read it yet, and it's definitely going to be on my radar to pick up because again, she just is wonderful, and um I definitely enjoy a standalone. So if I finish that tonight, that will count as my 500-page in one day book. If it doesn't, I've got so many other 500-page books that I can read in a day. But being able to knock out the 24-hour readathon and the 500, they are lighting off fireworks. It is 3:25 in the afternoon and they are lighting off fireworks. My neighbors. Welcome to America. Um, but I'm gonna go do my dailies in Love and Deep Space. If you play Love and Deep Space, tell me who your main is. Mine is Raphael. Definitely a holdover from my love of Percy Jackson and Finnick Odair. Um, just give me a man from the sea. Give me a man who lives in the sea, who loves water, and I will fall in love with him. So give me your merman recommendations. um, but yes, that has been my goal for today. I'm going to take off this lipstick and veg for an hour and a half, and then I will start my challenge, and I'll be back with you then. I am at page 93 of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Um, it's super interesting so far. It follows three characters. Mostly so far, it has been Maria, who is the girl who is in 1500 Spain as she gets married and works to find a husband who she hates. She hates him. I believe that these are all sapphic women. I think that that is the issue, is that she is not interested in men. She does not want to be a mother. She hates her life. She has come to realize that, you know, this life is no better than the one that she had before. She is not a fan of men and the restraints they have placed on her life. Also, did I show you my cat? He is not going to be happy when I have to get up to eat, but it is eating time. The other main character we've been following is not Lottie. Lottie is the girl that she was with, Alice. Alice is a freshman at Harvard, and she is in 2019. And Lottie, I believe, is going to be the vampire in this book. She's blonde, and I believe that she's the one who is going to be the love interest for both of these girls. And Maria's not going to make it. That is my prediction. I like to play predictions with these sorts of books. V. Schwab is very good at not doing what you think. Um, Bruce stretching and he's put his paw onto my leg. But I do believe that that is what's going to happen, that Lottie is going to be the widow. Might be wrong, but you never know. It is hard because I know that she's at least Charlotte, who's going to be this other perspective that we get. We haven't gotten her yet, but I know that we will because it's on the jacket cover. And Lottie, Charlotte. But a part that I really do enjoy is that Alice's mother has passed and she has a stepmother who her sister, Katie, does not like at all. And I believe that Katie is dead. That is kind of my belief, is that Katie has either forsaken herself and kind of like is completely out of Alice's life, or um she's dead. I believe that she's probably dead. Most likely my current idea is an overdose or suicide, but we will see which of those is indeed the case, or an accident of some sort. I do not believe that it was illness. It might have been, but that is not my belief. Or she was turning into a vampire. Maybe she was a vampire. um, but I would not be surprised if it was self-inflicted death that has occurred. But anyways, I'm gonna go heat up a burger and read in my bed some more after that. And hopefully, when it gets a little cooler outside, I'm gonna go read outside because I love to read outside. But yes, we are 2 hours in, 93 pages in. It's midnight. I am officially 306 pages in, and I fucking love this book. I like. I don't even know what else to say. There's just so much to it. Um, Fuck it, I'm talking about spoilers. Spoilers. If you have not read There Are Bones in the Midnight Soil, go read it. It's so good. First, I would like to talk about how they are using this vampire trope of what is oftentimes in horror been seen as, vampires drinking blood has been seen as a sexual act for so long. I mean, read a fanfic or Twilight or whatever, just modern vampire literature, classical vampire literature. It's very much a sexual act. And in this book, the way that it's given back to women, and we have Sabine, who is Maria. Maria, she gets turned by the widow, whose name is Sabine, and she kills her in the course of turning into a vampire and takes on her identity, kills her in-laws, kills her husband, flees, and then she meets basically what I account to as, a Dracula sort of man who has turned this woman and sees himself as a god. He gets himself and Renita the first experience that Sabine has with a woman where she truly feels love and accepted in the warmth of another person's touch, and she kind of understands what sex is without violation. Um, because I need to read it. There's a part where it talks about how she believes herself she is actually saving this woman by killing her. Oh, here it is. I'd turn right to it. Page 223. Bianca, who seemed excited to be wed, which is enough to convince Sabine that she has chosen well, and will be doing her a kindness, sparing her the horrors of a marriage bed, the burdens of being a wife. I can't remember what it was, but there was something I was reading or talking about, and queerness in vampires, and an interview with a vampire, very famous queer vampire story. I've never read it, and I probably should. Anne Rice is pretty lit. I know her son is pretty cool too. Um, so, very, very, very iconic queer fiction about vampires and the queerness of vampirism and the sexual act And I think it is just so interesting that, um, through Sabine, she thinks that men's blood tastes horrible. She doesn't like it. It doesn't satisfy her. She doesn't get any satisfaction at all from it. And, through Alice's point of view, who is also a lesbian, it is not the same. And I think that is also to speak to very specifically the sort of trauma that Sabine has gone through that this sexual act she finds no pleasure in. It's a very interesting take on that. And I think it's incredibly, I don't know, I just think it's done really well because I know that this could have been done poorly. It could have been, and maybe it still has time to be done poorly. But as far as we are right now, it is done with, there are these different levels of, what is a magnanimous vampire? What is, death earned? What is a predator? When is death done correctly? Who gets to decide? And I think Sabine is a great showing of a sort of almost repression and how that can turn into violence and misunderstanding and all of these different things. I have so many thoughts about this book, which I mean, I think proves that it is wonderful. And again, I've got another 200 pages left. So I've got, I'm 3/5 of the way through. And um, I was under the impression that in the modern era, Sabine would be dead. That was my thought, was that Lottie would be turned, and then basically the whole idea is that eventually all of the parts of a vampire rot and they get caught and they die. Um, with what's his face, who I hated, and I don't even remember his name. It was Renita and someone else. Hector. Hector was his name. Um, with Hector, he becomes too pompous. You watch as he, goes through these moods, and he becomes bloody, and he kills whole churches full of people, and masquerades himself as a god and ends up getting himself killed. And then someone is doing spin outs. What are they called? I can't think of it. Where you spin out. I can't think of it. Where you go really fast and then you slam on your brakes. Burnouts. That's what they're called. I was doing burnouts, probably in like a Camry. um, but we see that, and then we see through Matteo and his human lover Alessandro, who refuses to become a vampire, and then Matteo, who had taught Sabine how to rein in her hunger, basically allowed her so that she could go months without feeding, where she was going hours before, she was going a day. She can now, go weeks through his training. She can learn things that Hector knew how to do, but he refused to teach her because he saw himself as a god. But Matteo takes on this role of teaching her, and then he turns, in his grief, he turns another man into a vampire, Giovanni, and we see what Sabine could have very easily become. Um, Whereas he is just doesn't play by the rules and gets himself caught and killed. And then Matteo has to leave Venice, and Sabine has to leave him as well. And there's this beautiful moment where, not beautiful, but it's heart wrenching because it's basically, Maria, even from a young age, she was, I don't want to say villainous, but she was, I mean, psychopathic also seems incorrect, but she was traumatized. I would say that. Oh my God. The burnouts are so loud. Um, she was a flawed character from the very beginning. I'm gonna have to go inside. She was a flawed character from the very beginning, and I think that that was really, really incredible to watch as she embraces this greed, this want to be something else. And she had felt so close to Matteo and Alessandro, And, once her and Mateo are split up and she knows, she's like, I'm never going to see him again. She says very clearly, like, oh, I feel the lightest I have felt in decades. And I think that that goes to this whole idea that there is a death and then there is death again. Um, this the whole midnight soil thing is that vampires are basically feral roses where um, they're buried in this midnight soil and they're feral roses, and that's kind of how they're talked about. They don't call themselves vampires; they call themselves feral roses. Um, and that they are fed instead of with water, with life, blood, and specifically, death is what contains them. Truthfully, is that they have to drink until someone dies, basically, to actually feel good. It's not like Cullens where they can just drink blood from something else and it's fine. It's like they say that it's like pouring into a chalice with holes. It's like just pouring things in and it just seeps out constantly. And they're always hungering. That no matter what happens, they're never full. They're never satiated. And it's a very interesting dichotomy of, and I can't wait because I know that there will be a few amazing studies of this talking about how women and the reclamation of women's bodies specifically through horror, because so much of horror for so long has been about the use of women's bodies in these horrific ways of women losing autonomy and the man versus the bear. The worst thing a bear will do is eat you. The worst thing a bear will do is kill you. um, but the man can do much worse, and we know that well. So I think that as we get more stories that are more feminist works of horror, it will be incredible to watch. I've just been rambling for 10 minutes about this book because it's been so good. So we'll see how much of this I actually keep and if any of it is worth it when I listen to it again when it's not midnight and I'm not kind of sleepy a little bit already. But I'm going to get all my stuff in and finish this book out and take my makeup off. Just starting to cake and probably do my hair again. Okay, that is it from me. I will see you on the other side. The 24 reading challenge I'm giving up on. I can't do it. I can't read for another 8 hours. I absolutely can't. I tried. I really did. I did complete my goal of finishing Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, 500-page book, in one day. Completed, done and dusted. But I also decided that I'm going to do this weekly, so I will have Monday as my start date and then go from there. So I will be counting Direbound, Homebound. Oh, I didn't even realize I did that. Direbound, Homebound, and then Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm not probably going to use like any clips from that vlog because I rambled a lot about this book. I'm most likely going to write a script and film a full YouTube video about it because I loved it so very much. Um, Genuinely a 5-star read. It was so incredible. It talked about so many things that I absolutely adored. It is about 3 women through, it's a 6th-century long story. I would say that if you're going into this, think of it more, instead of like a fantasy plot, think of it more as like a historical fiction plot. Um, and maybe I wasn't expecting a lot of plot because um, I didn't know what it was about, and I kind of know V.E. Schwab that her books are very much character driven, and it's very much character studies. Like there was definitely plot. This book had, if you ask me like, oh, A to B to C to D, what happens in this book, I'd be able to tell you. Convoluted, but I'd be able to tell you. Um, I loved all the characters. I think they were amazing character studies about an incredibly strange topic that was so incredible. I'm someone who is deeply, deeply interested in, you know, women's autonomy and horror and how women's rights kind of wrongs, but rights, speaking in like feminists and intersectionality and all of those sorts of things. I think that this book handles it very, very well. And it was incredible. I think it was very, very interesting and definitely has put um, the the incredible lives, the invisible life of Addie LaRue back onto my TBR or back on my radio. I literally own it. It's right there. I just never read it. I bought it the day that it came out, and I just never read it. That was right about when I stopped um, keeping up with new releases and stopped reading pretty much in general. Like I went down to like reading one book a year, reading my one Percy Jackson book a year. Um, but yeah, that is where we are. And right now, I have decided that I will be starting. So this will be my 500-page book in one day, and then my vampire book. I might slot it in as I might change that around. That is not set in stone. I would like to keep it as my vampire book because that is what I pulled. I know that I would be keeping it as my 500-page book in a day because, wow, I worked hard on that. And I'm glad that I did it. I think reading that book in one sitting was great. I was really happy with it. Um, Now I'm going to read Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I just started it and it's going to make me cry. So I have already bought the paperback because I know that I'm going to want to mark it up. And this will be my first TJ Klune book. I know that he wrote the one that's like The Edge of the Sea and The Found Family and everything. That was super popular. It still is. Um, but I was posting on my story, on my Instagram story with my K-pop account, talking about like books that I saw and I was like, oh, these are books that I was interested in, how to know that I'm back in my reading era. And one of my good friends, who's now like an IRL friend that I met through K-pop Instagram, um, um, basically said like she loved that uh, series. So I was like, okay. And I downloaded it on Kindle Unlimited and I devoured the first 20 pages. And then I was like, nope, I need this book. So I went ahead and bought it on Pango Books. First time buying from a seller on Pango Books, but I am excited. I want to use that more. I want to stop using Amazon to buy my books. And sadly, going to my local bookstore will just be too expensive because this book was $30. Ah! And if I wanted to buy even the paperback from my local bookseller, it would have been $15. Ah! So I would have been able to get it today though if I would have gone and bought it. But I'd rather spend the $8.50, wait a week and get it or more. I don't know how long it takes, but I'll read it on my Kindle until then, and listen to my audiobook. So we'll see. That is my update for now. I have not read any more of The Daughter of the Moon Goddess since I talked to you after the gym yesterday. I may read some more a little bit later. I've got some laundry that I need to fold, so I might put it on while I'm folding my laundry and listen to like 30 minutes of it while I do that shenanigans. But we'll see. I'm kind of in a mood just to listen to a video and cross stitch. Kind of all read out. Binging a book will do that too, I think. And staying up all night. I am not. I'm not meant for staying up all night. The 24-hour reading challenge might be the hardest part of this entire challenge for me. But I'm not a coward. I will do this. You hear me? But we are already completely done with one challenge on the bingo, so I am 1 of 25 away. That's huge. So, yay! Oh, and TJ Klune's Wolf Song is for the TBR game challenge. Like I said, I want to do that like as the year goes on. I don't want to play someone's exact TBR challenge. I want to do um I will do the same. It's like riots and reading. I'll link their channel down below. Um, but they have a very, very interesting TBR challenge. And basically I will watch it whatever month it is that I pull, I'll watch it and then pick one of their challenges, use their prompt, and then go from there. I'm gonna do that 4 times. They draw 6 times, but they have a lot of like extra stuff that they do. So I'm gonna say 4 books will be. They're also doing the hardest reading challenge, which is why I wanted to do their game because we are both suffering. It's not suffering. It's actually really fun. It gives me it lets me mood read, but fun because there's so many different prompts. And pulling from the jar has definitely helped me because I feel like I would have gotten way overstimulated with all of the options. Like, so that is what we're doing. I'm going to fill out, update my tracker and see where we are. Okay, next time I talk to you, I will have updates on Wolfsong and Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Bye. One, preface, I'm not hurt. I'm eaten up by bugs. I was doing some gardening and I'm gonna die. But I had to come home from work early today because our power went out because someone got in an accident and hit a pole. That sounds specifically Kentucky, but that is also a city problem. So I went to the library because I was like, I don't have my library card. I'm reading again. I was like, do I owe them money? I don't owe them money. Apparently they don't collect money for overdue books anymore because I had a book that was overdue by 3 years. I returned it, but it was overdue by 3 years. It was sitting in a car that stopped working that we just had like in our driveway. And when we went in there to clean it out, I was like, oh no. So my goal is that once a week I want to go in there and I want to find a book never heard anything about. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of the author, or if I've heard of the author, you know, I don't know about this book specifically, and just read it. And like just looking at the cover and just looking at the back, go from there. So my pick today is actually the second in a series. I don't believe that you have to read them in order. At least like I just looked it up on Goodreads and it like the characters seem completely different. But this is Confounding Oaths by Alexis Hall. And this is set in 1815, and it appears that it's like fae folk inspired, but it also is, it seems gay. So after what's it called? After I read Bare Bones in the Midnight Soil, and it had that, you know, lesbian 1820s England vibe, I was like, oh, perfect. And then I picked this up and it's 1815 Londonish vibes. Loving. It does seem to be fantasy, but it does seem to be like a romantasy, but not like high romantasy, but still romantasy. Why is this woman backing up? She's not. Okay. But anyways, I'm gonna go get myself some lunch because I forgot my lunch in my office, and I'm not going back to my office because it's a 15-minute drive. And by the time I get there, it would be past my lunch anyways. So I'm gonna stop and get some food. And then I'm probably going to read, I might read some Wolfsong, I might read this, I might listen to my audiobook. Who knows what I'll do? But I am best when I'm focusing on one book. So I'll probably read, so I bought a physical copy of Wolfsong because I could tell right away that I was going to love it. And I really want to, if there's a series, I want to take notes on it. I'm having a really bad hair day. Can you tell? I want to take notes on it. So that's what my plan is that's why I bought a, copy of it, and I bought it off Pango Books. I've never bought anything on Pango Books, so I went and wanted to see if the library had a copy, because if it has a copy, I can like mark down what pages I would want to make notes on and go from there, so that when I got my copy I could do it, because the Kindle copy is going to be different and it's going to be hard to go one-to-one. But they did not. They had all of that series except for the newest one and then the first one. So someone also picked up the first one, so I hope they're enjoying it. But that is the plan. So I will see you later when I have an update. Hello. I was not updating you all for a little while because I have poison oak, Tennessee crawler literally all over me. I went to go gardening in Kentucky in the middle of July is a hazard. Like Hazard, Kentucky. That's a Kentucky joke. Anyways, I have finished one book. I finished a book on Monday. I finished Wolfsong by TJ Klune, and I loved it. 5 stars. One of the best books I've ever read. I was obsessed with it. I picked it up Sunday after. Oh my god, I'm sticking to my chair. Okay. Picked it up Sunday after I finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and read like 20 pages of it. Knew right away that it was going to be one of my very favorite reads. I'm blending into my shirt. But I read 20 pages of it, and then Monday afternoon I picked it up and read 150 pages easy. Tuesday morning, the first thing I did when I woke up is read. And then I read and I read some more. And then I went to Barnes and Noble and picked up the second book. Even though I bought it already, I was waiting for it to ship, but I bought it. I bought the Barnes and Noble copy. I went to Half Price Books hoping they would have it, but they did not. So I did buy a copy, and then once my personal copy of Wolfsong comes in, because I just have it on Kindle Unlimited, I will be marking it up because God, I love that book. I will be annotating Ravensong as well. I do love to annotate, so I'm happy to get back into that. Especially since it seems like TJ Klune very much does themes very heavily and does a lot of like recall, or at least he did with the first book. The first book follows Ox, who is seems like he has some sort of learning disability, is what the book is kind of edging towards. But I don't know if that's the truth, but I think it is. I think it is that he has some sort of learning disability. Um, and his father ends up leaving him when he is 12 and makes him grow up very, very, very early. And, throughout the entire book, there's kind of this conversation about, what does it mean to be a man, and um, who is, like, not even who is a man, but who is deserving of love, who is anything. And then it follows Joe, who we meet when there is a bit of an age gap, but nothing happens until Joe is like quite a bit older. It's quite a bit in the future. But he's 10, and we know from the back of the cover that he is a shifter and from a family of shifters. They're werewolves. Calls them shifters, but they're werewolves. And it was just gorgeous. It was so, so gorgeous how they handle love and leadership and self-esteem and self-consciousness and everything. It was such a gorgeous novel. I was so, so, so happy to read it. Can't believe it is not more hyped up. I had never heard of it. I was just in my local bookstore and was taking pictures and posted them on my story. And my friend was like, "Hey, I love that series." And I saw that it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I picked it up. And yeah, so that is where I am. Um, so my plan is to read Ravensong by TJ Klune. It is the second one in the series. I just know that once I pick this up, I'm not going to want to read anything else. I wanted to do a sit down update because I have two more to draw from here. I'm still working on my audiobook, which was my Person of Color. I just don't think I like listening to audiobooks. I keep thinking, oh, I need to listen to my audiobook, and then I just keep not doing it. So I might try to see if I can get a copy of it on my Kindle or get it from the library, or find it cheap secondhand. But I don't think audiobooks are for me, which sucks because I know that that's a super easy way to read. Or it might just be like I don't like fantasy audiobooks. I don't know. Every time I put my headphones in, I want to watch a YouTube video. I don't want to listen to a book or I want to listen to a Stephanie Sue podcast. So that is where I am with that. But in the meantime, we will draw two more. So, ooh, okay. So this is for the movie adaptation. Ooh, I have no fucking idea what I want to read for that. Oh, I'll have to look. Oh, you know what? There's that Andy Weir book. I might try to see if I can get that Andy Weir book because that's also sci-fi, and I don't really read sci-fi. Like Atlas something. I'll get back to you, but I need to watch a movie adaptation and read the book. So I might see about that. I have so many thoughts in my head right now. I don't know. I feel like I really don't. I don't want. Okay, think about me. I don't watch that many movies. I don't watch that many TV shows. I don't watch a lot of stuff. So this is probably the adaptation stuff is going to be the hardest for me because I just don't. I just don't. I don't like watching movies. I don't watch a lot of movies. I wish I did. People who watch movies always seem to have such complex thoughts. Like people who watch movies. But I have had a thing that I want to go to the movie theater once a month, at least, and just go see a new movie. But we'll see. Okay, so I'm pinning that. Pinning that. Okay, pool 2. Nonfiction. Okay, I was thinking about this earlier. I don't know what I want to read for nonfiction. See, I have 2 nonfiction books that I kind of read through, but they're both very long. One of them is People's History of America, which I'm like halfway through, but I've been reading it for like 3 years. It's taking more of a socio-political and socioeconomic view of American history and talking about it. Super interesting. You know, I studied, I don't think this would be obvious from my job or from my hobbies, but I did get a degree in Russian and international economics. So I am extremely interested, but I think I might pick something a little bit easier because I do have to read 4 nonfiction books this year, which is a lot for me. Um, we will see. I'm kind of sad that neither of my current reads will help me here, but that's okay because that is the whole point. And I can always slot these into other challenges and then give myself a freebie later. Um, because this is definitely where I want to be, but that means that most likely what I will do is I will try to see if I can get my hands on that Andy Weir book. And again, my goal is to read 1 library book a week pretty much. Go and return it and then pick up a new book. So I might go cuz my library has an amazing nonfiction section. So I might just go in there and see if I can't find like a memoir or, a short autobiography of some sort or short biography. Um or like a nature book or something because I like nature books. But we'll see. I will catch up with you next time. But yes, we've had 2 5-star reads in this vlog already, which is amazing. My July reading month has been, what, 2 5-star reads, 2 4-star reads. So pretty good. And I'm guessing that this is either going to be a 3 or a 4, and this will probably be a 5. And then we have a movie adaptation, and I might see if there's something. No, nothing would be coming out. I also do need to read a book that came out in July, so I need to have my eye out on that because I don't want to put that off too long. Because that one does have a ticking timer on it. That one does have to be done in the next 21 days, 3 weeks. So, but we'll see where I am. So that is everything for now. I'll probably do like one more update because I want to get this video out on like Friday, I think, because I like vlogging on the weekends and I talk a lot more on the weekends. So I might try to finish this book tonight and tomorrow and then come back, close out the vlog, and then actually post on my channel for the first time ever. Which, is this a good video to have on your channel the very first time? I don't know. But it's a lot of me yapping. So, that is everything from me for now. I will see you in the next clip. Hello, 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 everyone. So, update since last time I talked to you, and this will be the end of this vlog so that I can start a new one. Because I only want to vlog for like a week at a time. Also, say hi to Sana. They did have a comeback. Price is so good. I love them. 4 was amazing. The Hanmoon has been restored after being tried to be ended by ATs and Your Fantasy. Also really good. Probably my favorite of the 2, but this is 4 will always grow on me. Twice songs always grow on me. But I've kind of given up on listening to Daughter of the Sun and Moon. No, Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Just because I think listening to fantasy audiobooks is just not for me. I've started instead Survival of the Richest. It's a nonfiction book. I cannot remember the title of it, but like the author of it, but I'll put it here. I'm like a third of the way through that one. It's really good. Great for any of my like elementary wealth disparity peeps who want to learn about that. Good book for that. But I am like 200 pages into Immortal by Sulin Tan. I was feeling very meh about this book. I was feeling very 3.5, maybe 4. maybe it was actually it was more like 3.5 star reads, and then about 100 pages in, it went from like I can't put it down. So I've literally read like 150 pages today. I was trying to push myself to get to 100 pages, and I was like, okay, I can do this, And then right around page 100, boom, switch flipped. It was so good. Um, so I'm just gonna spend the rest of tonight reading because you can't really see it. But I do have poison ivy. It's bad. It's worse on this arm. Um, so they gave me a steroid shot, so I am like buzzing right now. I'll probably crash. But I'm going to probably just come home and read on my porch and enjoy the night. So thank you so much for watching this vlog. It was very productive. And July is starting off with a bang. The and this will be my person of color, my BIPOC pull from the jar. My nonfiction is going to be the survival of the richest, and then I do still have to pick out a movie. I'm gonna see that one's really hard for me because I don't watch a lot of movies. I watched Sinners last night, which is the first movie I've watched literally all year, and then I'm watching Superman tomorrow. I got roped into that one. That one's my family to go see that, so I got voluntold that I was seeing that one. Um, but it's okay because it's time with my family without having to do a lot of like social work. um, so yeah, that is it. Hopefully next time you see me, well, actually, I know that's not true because I'll probably start vlogging again tomorrow. But hopefully soon I'll be able to wear makeup again. Hopefully I'll be able to wear clothes that, I don't have to. I've had to wear long sleeves the past couple of days because of how bad it is. And I had to trim my nails. I'm going to do my nails probably tomorrow morning. But yeah, so that is everything. Next vlog will be more probably finishing Immortal, finishing Survival of the Richest, finding a July release that I want to read. There are so many out. I just need to sit down and I think I want to read that new Rachel Gillick book. I think that came out in July. If it did, I'm going to read that. Cuz I'm probably going to go to my local bookstore and pick that one up. Oh, and we're also going to be reading Ravensong next vlog. We're reading Ravensong. We're doing that. So, that is where we are right now. Go to your local library, folks. Happy reading.